And welcome everybody to our Tuesday, Transformation Tuesday Zoom at noon. And we will be doing this every Tuesday at noon so that we can share with you guys tips and tricks and all those good things to make sure that your transformation is going well. And you can invite people to join you on this call because this is for those that are doing their transformation or those that are wanting to do a transformation. So this is really a good call to kind of share some information with them. Last week we talked about nutrition, and this week we're going to be talking about the workout. So we've got our transformation team on board here and online. And so we're going to go through just that transformation workout guide and make sure that you guys are all on board with this and that you're understanding maybe some of the techniques. I want you to understand too that you don't necessarily have to follow the exact, I mean, if you're finding you have other workouts that you want to do and other workout programs as you're going through this, um, feel free to use your bands and do the workouts that you're enjoying. But we've put out here a workout guide so that you can do a 10-minute good burn every day for 6 days a week, and and be able to add in some additional cardio, with that cardio being some of your choices. So these are just some good suggested ideas, but we wanted to put these out here because these workouts are designed to get you into a deeper burn. And we've got the expert with us on this 12-week transformation, Brent Unjum, who trained me back 15 years ago on how to lift. And this, I don't know if I shared this with you guys last time, but I went and found my notes and of my Victory Over Self program, and I was reviewing the notes, and I saw, it was so funny as he was sharing, as you get to this 10 effort, this heavy lift, and back then it was with heavy weights. He was teaching us how to do the heavy weights and do a deep to a 10 effort to release growth hormone. So you guys, this was like 15 years ago. Brent was like ahead of the game, way ahead of the game. And now that we've got the B3 bands, it makes it so we don't have to do that hour and a half workout that we used to have to do, and we don't have to lift the heavy weights, and we don't have some of the injuries that may have that higher risk of some of the injuries that may come sometimes if they're not done properly. So the B3 bands have changed and revolutionized the way we work out. And it's amazing. I've been doing them for a year and a half, seeing amazing results within myself and with others. And so when I was so excited to meet up with Brent and Tamara again, and to be able to put together this 12-week health and transformation challenge with the gang and to be able to share that out so everybody could have their transformation, and that we could have this changed up so that we're using the bands as part of it. So I just wanted to bring on Brent. Brent, can you share a little bit as we go through the guidelines? Share some of the guidelines as far as like getting on and warming up, and then making sure the muscles are warmed up, and then getting into the actual lifting part to the effort.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see if I can make them bigger so I can read them here. Follow the plan. It's right there in front of me.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, choose either the weight or the band workout and preview the videos. Each of them have really awesome videos that Tamara and Janine have done on each day, showing you how to do them all, that 10-minute workout. And you can just click on and watch those videos. So anybody can do this from home or anywhere they want and be reminded with all of the tips and tricks. So you just pick out which one because you can do it with both. You can get it done with both. What else?
Using either the tubing. So Tamara did the tubing one, with the tubings at home, and she's going to kind of come on a little bit later, and she's going to share, some tips that she's found with the tubing. And I did the ones in the weight room. And so it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be in the weight room, right, Brent? You can do some of these if you have these weights at home. There's a couple of them that I did use machines on. And so those are specific a little more to the weight room. And so if you have
right.
routines at home, like a leg extension, leg curl. You could do those at home too.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And then it has how to put on the bands, a little video on how to put the bands on. And one little trick is in between each set, and you're doing only about 4 sets, you know, like on chest day on Monday, and you're resting 30 seconds in between. Just put the gauge back on and just make sure you're up to pressure each time before you do it. That way you get maximum effect. And then optional warm up, 30 minutes on elliptical. So it's always nice if you have time, to just do a 3-minute warm up on, walking the stairs, or you're getting the blood flowing and stuff. But if you don't, just, just do your 10-minute workout. I always like to get the blood flowing before I work out. 10-minute strength and B3 bands, green, blue, just a combination of the bands to help you get to where you need to be. In this first month, we're just a 7 to 8 intensity where you're just starting to feel the burn good. That's what we're after. By the time you get to 15 reps, you want to be fit. You want to be feeling a good burn. Next month, we want to take you to the 10 effort, to where the muscle, quits. That's where the real magic's going to happen. And then, 15 to 20 minutes of cardio with the bands on. And during any time during the day after that, I do archery one day, and then I do martial arts the next day. Or you can just go out and go for a walk, or just clean your house, or your choice on that. But it doesn't need to be taken to a 10 effort. Just a good burn with that would be great. And always, on all exercises, 3 seconds up, 3 seconds down, with big, deep breathing. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. And that's the safest rep speed, and also has the best development overall. They did a study on that for 20 years to find out what was the best speed, rep range, and that was what they came up with. And the first one, just get a lighter band or a lighter dumbbells, and just do a 30 rep just to pump the blood into there. And so even if you don't get a 3-minute warm up doing something else, you can get a good warm up with the 30 reps. I always do a little warm up before I do anything heavy. 30 to 60 seconds between sets. Shoot for 30 when you get in shape. First month, 12 to 15 reps to the 7-8 intensity. Second month, 10 to 12 reps, 10 effort. And then the third month, and then from then on, all your workout should be 8 to 10 reps to failure, to the 10 effort. For women, guys can go 6 to 8 to failure, but that's a nice safe range. And then the cardio again, and always stretch after each workout. And there's a stretching video. It takes about 5 minutes to stretch everything. And that's the best time to stretch, is after your muscles are warm, because they work just like rubber bands. If they're warm, they'll stretch real nice. If they're cold, they can split and tear. So that's kind of the overview right there.
Now, Brent, let's explain. So some people aren't as familiar, maybe, and even when I started lifting and we were going through things, what's the difference between sets and reps? And so but when you're saying sets, so they're saying that if you're doing 2 sets, that would mean that on the first time you're doing your workout, you're doing 30 repetitions. Let's say on chest day, you're doing the 30 repetitions of the chest press, right? And then, so that would be considered a set, would be that 30. The second one, you're doing that maybe a little heavier, and you're a little slower, and you're doing those 3 up, 3 down, and you do 15 of those. So that means 15 reps, which is meaning you're performing that exercise 15 times. And then you do your 30-second rep or 30-second rest. And then, so that one right there is the second set. the third set would be that, again, repeating 15 times, 15 repetitions of that movement. So I had a few people ask, okay, what's the difference between sets and reps? Reps is how many times you do that movement, and sets is how many times you do that repetition, right?
That's true. And that's probably the biggest question that the hundreds of people I've trained, initially want to know the difference between sets and reps. So that was a good explanation.
Yeah, but normally after that warm up of your 30, you're just doing 2 sets of 15. So it's just that first time through when you're just warming up on that very first time with that first exercise. So when it was chest on Monday, you're doing 30 reps with that lighter weight. And then from then on out on the, you're doing 2 sets of your 12 to 15 repetitions of that movement. So that I think that is good to clear up. And also that 30, I had some people questioning, okay, when do you do a 30 on each one? No, you just do it on that very first exercise, just like you were saying, Brent, to make sure the blood flow is getting into that muscle. And then you can do your 2 sets of 15.
Right. That's the goal, is get the blood in there, get that muscle and the tendons, ligaments, the fascia all warm with blood in there, so that when you stress it with a more intense work exercise from then on, it's safer and everything's ready for it. So yeah, just one time to warm it up and per muscle group, and that's it. But each day, like the next day on Tuesday, you do back, you just do one set of 30 repetitions with a lighter weight to get the blood in there again.
Yep. And that's just for this one, because a lot of times when you're going through some of those B3 workouts, you might do 3 sets of 30, and or you might be doing a set of 30 and then 15, 15. So this is just kind of how we set this up. But if you're watching other videos from B3, you might see things done a little bit different.
Right. This is just a more accelerated, more intense, optimizing the growth hormone, optimizing the beauty of this technology of the bands to crank out growth hormone. This is going to do, in 12 weeks from now, the before and afters will blow everybody's mind because of how much growth hormone we're going to create doing this.
Exactly, which I'm excited about. Sarah, did you have a comment there?
Yeah, just sometimes I explain to people that the set is the name of the exercise you're doing. And then the repetitions, like you said, is how many times you're doing each of the exercises. So if they kind of put the exercise name with the set, and that can differentiate between, like today is the set of high rows, the set of low rows for, the exercise. If that helps them differentiate between what they're doing, then, if you give it a name for the set, then, if that makes it easy.
Yeah.
That's good. To give the set a name versus what is a set, what is the rep.
And then on your workout chart here, you can see, okay, I did 2, it states we need 2 sets of those, but on some days, you can see on bicep curl days, there's 3 sets of 12 to 15 of bicep curls and 3 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions of triceps. So some of those days have 3, some have 2, and then over here, there's left a blank spot. So you can write in, if you print these off, you can write in what bands you're using at first here. And then if roll down here, you can write in, if you're using weights, what weight you're using. So you can see your progression in strength. I always like to start out, okay, so I'm using 10 pounds now. Maybe next month I'm using 15 pounds. You can start seeing your progression as you write in how much you're doing. Awesome.
And that's important to be able to track that, because what we're shooting for is to get that muscle to fail between ultimately 8 and 10 repetitions. And so you've got to track what size of bands you're using to make that happen, or what size of weights you're using. And you write that down, because you're going to get stronger as you go on. So you're going to have to add another band or you know, a bigger dumbbell or weights to that. Another thing is like on Thursday there, it's got bicep curl and tricep extension. Some of these you can do back to back without taking that 30-second rest to speed things up. So like you can do the bicep curl and then immediately do the tricep extension and then rest 30 seconds and then repeat that again 2 more times. Same thing with leg extensions, leg curl. You can do those back to back and then rest in between each of them.
Because and that's called a superset, because on that, if you do it that way, you're not working the same muscle group. Let's say if you're doing bicep curls and you're doing one, you know, your first set and then rest and then do a second set. But if you're doing a superset and you're going from bicep and then tricep without the rest, you're moving from the front to the back. So you're not working the same muscle back to back. You know, it's a different muscle group right there. So that works really good. I love doing supersets that way. And I love how, you know, like say you do bicep curl tricep, like you were saying on Thursday there, and then you have a rest and then you do bicep tricep and then you do bicep tricep and then do a 30-second rest and then do that overhead press and do 2 sets of those. And by the time you do that, your arms are, I'd say, toasted. Wouldn't you say, Brent?
Oh yeah, you're especially when you get to the 10 effort. Holy mackerel, you're sweating and you're done. That's it. 10 minutes and that's done. That's quality, not quantity.
Yes. Exactly. So Tamara, let's bring you on for some tips. Tamara is our video, does the videos for the tubing for home workouts. And she's so much fun. I love your videos. You're just a natural, you know? And so everybody I've talked to about watching your videos have said, we really like how fun and even a little bit entertaining these are, which is great. That's what we need, especially when, you know, you can enjoy workout.
Well, thanks, Janine. And thanks to you too, Brent. It was 10 years ago that Brent trained me with his program, Victory Over Self, and I absolutely loved it. So when I show the videos, I've already done a little bit of a warm up, but let me just show you so it gets in your head, because the picture is worth 1,000 words. So if you're doing bands at home, get your bands set up to your weight, only don't pump up your B3 bands yet. Get your tubings, exactly what you feel like is a good thing for you, and then do that set of 30 without pumping up your bands. And you know you've done 30 and it's an effort, and that's your warm up, and then pump up your bands, and then you should only be able to do 15, and it should be a lot harder. You should start perspiring, and then you can do your 2 sets. So that can be your warm up, because it should be fairly doable to just do that body movement with the beginner. Does that make sense to everybody? Does anybody have any questions on that?
And Tamara, one thing that I do love is that you are doing these in your bedroom. So you can just show that you can do these anywhere, right? It doesn't have to be some fancy workout space. You can do these in your bedroom because you're kind of transitioning between homes right now. So you don't have a lot of space right now.
That's right. I love that. Yeah, I love the fact that I am in the smallest bedroom. It's like a 10 by 10, and it's not just my bedroom for me and my husband, all of our clothing and my office and my gym. So that's the cool thing. You can send these out to all your missionaries. The missionaries can stay fit and in shape, both the older ones and the younger ones. And you don't even have to go out in the room if you want to work out in your buff. Who knows? It makes it so that you are independent. That's what I like about the bands and the tubings. It makes you independent. You just put them in your suitcase. You can get it done in the hotel room, and then you go out and feel like $1,000,000.
So Tamara, can you show us a few of the attachments that's really handy to have? Like I see you've got one in the door there.
Yeah, I've got one back behind me in the door. it's just awesome to be able to put it up high and be able to pull down from up high. And then it's just so nice to be able to put it in the middle if you want, or then down at the bottom. This is this is genius right here, this little gadget, because you can work out. You do have to have a door. You have to have a door in your bedroom.
That is helpful.
To not only just have these handholds, but it's also helpful to have the straps to strap it around your legs on leg day. So I think that let me just share a win with you. So 10 years ago, when I did the program with Brent Unjum, with a gym, with weights, heavy weights, with me and my husband, we both excelled. We both gained muscle tone and inches and all this kind of stuff. But we wanted to be really transparent and just use the bands and see what we could do in half the time. You know, we wanted to say, let's put it to the test. So me and my husband have started doing this, and my husband said, get me a tape measure. I says, it's too soon. I don't want you to be discouraged. You know, wait for a full month. So it had not been a full month yet, and he's already gained an inch on his bicep, which every man would love. And my son-in-law, he's already gained a full inch. He's been doing it a little longer. But so this is going to work. What I envision happening is taking Brent's program, which we know is amazing, which we know works, and combining it with the B3 bands and the tubing and making that work with half the weight and half the time. And it is working.
Like you're getting better results in half the time, and exactly that's what we want to see. So I just wanted to kind of share at the end here of doing the workouts at the gym. And because I have a gym, I'm a little biased that way. You can use the bands at a gym. I feel like I have more variety a little bit and a little bit more options when I'm there. For example, on leg extension day, it's nice for me to go and do a leg extension and a leg curl. But you can do, like at the home on Tamara's videos, you can do the leg extension and leg curl there. So when you scroll down, and I think I stopped my share, so let me start that share again. And when you're doing your strength workout down here, and you can see there's some variations. So an incline press, you can take your bench and incline it up, and you can go to a flat bench. And again, there's all these little videos. Today I did the pullovers and the one arm rows. And so Wednesday on legs, it makes it a little easier for me to do leg extension than leg curls. When I'm doing calf raises, I just like having my little machine. So everybody has their preferences. If you guys want to go to a gym and do it, you can do them at the gym, and that's awesome. If you want to do them at home, and sometimes if I don't have time or I'm on the road, like I was on the road last week, and we didn't even have access to a gym. It was so nice to be able to do it right there in our little living room, and to be able to do the same workouts and get the same muscle groups, and reach that deeper fatigue that I'm telling you, I've been lifting for 20 years now, you guys. And I have never received a burn like I do when I use the bands. And I've been going to fitness conventions for a long time to see what's the latest and the greatest coming out. And this is by far the best thing I have ever seen in the fitness industry. So I totally am 100% that is revolutionizing the way we work out. And that if you can wrap your brain around that, 10 minutes will get you a better burn than if you lifted for a full hour, and that 15 minutes of cardio, 20 minutes of cardio will be more effective than your 60-minute, on the elliptical, then you're going to see amazing results. It just takes a little bit of mind work because we're not used to this, right? We're used to like, okay, let's lift heavy for an hour, or let's go out. My family, we go out and run for hours, and I did go for a run with my sisters, and they were doing a 15-mile run, and I did an 8-mile, and I could do it because I've been training with the bands. I could just go out and do the 8-mile run, even though I hadn't been running. So those are some of the things that I think that you will see with the bands there, and some amazing things. So we want to open this up for questions for people, and I'm going to go ahead and maybe just stop this recording here. And